Welcome back to my mini-series where I take a look at all of the Fast and Furious movies and we try and find all the errors and flaws that made its way through the editors, past the directors, past everybody, and made its way to your screen. Now this is the third video in my series, since it's the third movie, and if you haven't watched the other two, I do recommend you go watch it. Please go watch it, it will make me a very happy dude. Now if you go on to enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe, since I'm going to make more videos on the same topic, with the Fast and Furious 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a big review on number 9 as soon as it's out of the cinemas. So I can't make a video on it now because it's still in the cinemas and I can't get my hands on any footage to make the video, but as soon as it's out of the cinemas and you can actually get the movie, then I'll make a video on number 9. Yeah. But I can tell you, I have watched number 9 and I like number 3 more than I like number 9. Anyways, now for many, Tokyo Drift is the worst of the bunch. It's probably the most hated Fast and Furious movie. Why? Because it featured none of the original characters, and if I'm honest, it didn't even feel like it was part of the franchise. You know what I think would have been better? They should have just done what they did with Hobbs and Shaw, like Fast and Furious presents Tokyo Drift. So it's part of the franchise, but it's sort of a standalone film, because like I said, I like Tokyo Drift, but it doesn't fit in. Yes, the writers tried to make sense of Han in the newer films, and they gave him this whole Tokyo Drift backstory thing, which does make it better, I guess, but it still just doesn't seem to fit in properly. There's a bunch of plot holes and stuff, even with their backstory thing. Anyways, storyline. An American teenager named Sean challenges his rival for an illegal street race, and he totals his car in the end of the race. To avoid time in prison, he is sent to Tokyo to live with his father, who is in the military. As soon as he arrives, he discovers a new, fun, but dangerous way of street racing in the underworld of Tokyo, called drifting. What makes this movie better than most of the other newer Fast and Furious movies, in my opinion, is the stunts and the racing. It's more realistic. There's no stupid freaking space planes and magnets and people racing with a safe through cities and all of this insane crap. It's more realistic. The stuff in this movie can actually sort of happen. It's not just a bunch of crap. Plus, if you're a huge JDM geek like I am, this movie shows Japan and the drifting scene in such an awesome way. With the night drifting and all of my dream JDM cars sliding through the streets of Tokyo, and even on the mountain passes, it just clicked with my inner love of tuners and video games. That said, the movie does have quite a few flaws and things to just make you go, what? So the movie starts off with Sean getting into a fight with one of the jocks, but instead of actually fighting, they decide to settle it on the road in a street race. Now in this scene, the joke gives some of the performance stats on the Viper.
This beast's got 500 horsepower and a Borley exhaust system. It does 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds.
That's about right. That's about right.
Wow. You can read the brochure.
Well, I actually did go check the brochure, and the 0 to 60 of a Viper is 3.7 seconds. So this dude can't even read the brochure. Shame. In said race, there's a lot of action. Cars going off ramps and going through stuff, but the cars still look great. Sean actually rams his car through a half-built house, crashing the supports and flying off a ramp. But this doesn't damage the car at all. Nope, it just gets dirty. Easy as that. The house, however, is completely Anyways, they race, they crash, and Sean has to go to Tokyo to avoid jail time. On his first day in school, Sean befriends Twinkie, who introduces him to the world of drift racing in Japan. After driving to the underground car show, Sean has a confrontation with Takashi, known as DK, or Drift King. Now DK drives a 350Z, a really cool looking wide body 350Z, and Sean, although he's not really allowed to drive, manages to get himself in a race with DK. How does he do this? Well, Han, the dude from the other Fast and Furious, lends Sean his Nissan Silvia S15. Now I'm sorry, no matter how much money I have, if I had a car like this S15, I mean, just look at it. It's beautiful, and it's got an RB engine. It's a lot of money went into it. There's no way I would lend my car to a person I've never met in my entire life. Just how? How can you just justify lending this dude your car? Why? Why does Han get out of this? Why? But anyways, Sean loses to Takashi and crashes the completely destroys this S15, completely bashes it. It's just sad, actually. But here's my question, okay? So the Sean dude theoretically can drive. Like, he had to have raced a lot in America for all of this shit to have happened. So he does know how to drive. Now, he doesn't know how to drift because he's never done it before. That's fine. That makes sense in my brain. I can understand it. But why are they drifting? Why is he drifting? Yes, the Takashi dude is drifting because he can drift and he knows it. But this is a race between them. It's not a drift race. It's just a race. They just drift because it looks cool and it's faster in the movie. But drifting is actually slower than racing. So he could have just won the race if he just raced and not slid everywhere. Like, in reality, drifting isn't faster, it actually slows the car down by increasing the drag and does little to control cornering. In fact, it's pretty easy to go out of control when you're in a drift. So why would Sean attempt to drift? Something he has never done before. In a car he has never driven before, lent to him by a person he has never met before. And this dude obviously has money. He doesn't know where this dude gets his money. He could be some freaking godfather mafia gangster dude and he's just like freaking crashing the car. That's stupid. That doesn't make sense. I mean, if let's say somehow if this was me and you get into this whole situation and there's a race, okay, I would like baby that car. Even if I lose the race, that's fine. There's like no, what happens if he loses the race? He lost anyway, so nothing bad happened. But now he's got a broken ass car, and this could be a mafia killer that's gonna like freaking Sally Salt to the devil or something. Now, like with the other videos, I'm not gonna go through the whole movie and talk about everything. We're gonna jump through to where all the like gaps in the plot or where it doesn't make sense or where there's a flaw or whatever. Now, let's jump forward. There's this huge chase scene between Han, Sean, DK, and the other dude. I can't remember his name, but he also drove the 350Z, but I've got no clue what his name is. And I like just watched the movie. I don't think it's very important. Now they are drifting through the streets of Tokyo, which is interesting since this is one of the most famously congested cities on the planet, where traffic is constant, the roads are always crowded. And then we haven't even started talking about pedestrians. No city on earth has more pedestrian foot traffic than Tokyo. It is impossible to go anywhere in the city's downtown district without a huge amount of pedestrians. Which makes it kind of crazy that they drifted and raced through the city and nobody even like came close to hitting anybody. Except for this one famous scene where Sean is barreling down at the busy intersection with at least a couple of hundred people. He honks and they scatter, but the timing is just impossible for that many people to move that perfectly out of the way. Now this scene does look amazing. It's one of the coolest scenes like in the movie. It looks awesome. But I feel like in real life it would have turned out a bit different. Luckily the car is red. Wow, that's a dark joke. But at least in the movie it didn't go the way I think it would have gone in real life. Now on to the last race in the movie. Sean races DK. He wants to win. If he wins, DK has to leave Tokyo. Well, before I go on, this Mustang Sean is racing at the end with the RB engine, I think it's freaking dope, and I'm so glad TJ Hunt is making an entire like build on that, because I don't know if you know, TJ Hunt, the YouTuber, is building this same Mustang with the RB swap in it, and I think it's freaking awesome. Sorry, I get distracted easily. Let's get back to the race. It's dark, there are crowds gathering, and the race starts, and somehow they are able to watch the entire race on their phones. This is what a phone looked like in 2006. It had a 1 megapixel camera, so the quality, especially at night, would be atrocious. But never mind that, how the hell did they capture every second of the race? Now there are a few teens standing on the corners taking a video of the race, but that would mean only those corners would have footage. Oh, and it was live streamed from these phones. Again, this is a 2006 movie. Like, I know Japan is ahead of us here in South Africa, but I didn't know it was this bad. So that was Tokyo Drift. That's the end of the movie, and that's basically the end of the video too. So that's all the flaws in the movie. There's not that much flaws, if I'm honest. It's more just plot holes. Number one has a bunch of flaws, but this is not that bad. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I like Tokyo Drift. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of Tokyo Drift. And yes, the next video is going to be Fast and Furious number 4, the one with the weirdest name. It's just Fast and Furious. It's not Fast and Furious 4. It's not Fast and the Furious. It's just Fast and Furious. Yeah, that's a stupid name. So I'll check you guys in the next one.